at high altitudes. So the way your body works is your body produces hemoglobins. Hemoglobins allow blood to deliver oxygen to the rest of your body. One hemoglobin will bond with 4 oxygen molecules to form oxyhemoglobins. The chemical equation for this reaction is Hb plus 4O2 turns into Hb minus 4O2. Eventually, your body will hit an equilibrium for this chemical reaction, although training at high altitudes will affect this equilibrium. At low altitudes, air is denser, and therefore there is more oxygen readily available for your hemoglobins. Equilibrium will happily shift to the right to form oxyhemoglobins to transport oxygen to the rest of your body. However, at high altitudes, there is a lower pressure and therefore less oxygen. With less oxygen, a decrease in the reaction side of the chemical equation, the equilibrium will shift to the left to accommodate for the drop in reactant O2 concentration. This will cause oxyhemoglobins to decrease in the blood, and therefore less oxygen to be transported around the body. This is bad because your organs and your brain will be receiving less oxygen. However, if you allow for acclimatization, our body will generate more hemoglobins. If there is an increase in the reactant Hb, the equilibrium will shift to the right, the product side, and therefore more oxygen will be used to form oxyhemoglobins and transported around the body. And this needs to be done gradually, as our body can't immediately make more Hb. It must be a gradual change. Hence why climbers spend a day at a time gaining small amounts of altitude. Also why athletes, if they go to train in a higher altitude, will spend a couple of days before starting their training so their body can adapt to the higher altitude. The impact that this has on your in a biological sense is that you're affecting how much hemoglobin is being produced in your body, and the more hemoglobin, the more oxyhemoglobin can be formed, and the more oxygen that can be transported through your body to your muscles. The reason why this benefits athletes is because the more oxygen that is delivered to the muscles, the longer they're able to use those muscles before they get tired. So athletes will go to a higher altitude than where they may be racing or competing, train there for a couple of months or so that their body can produce these extra hemoglobins and allow for more oxygen to be transported to the rest of their body. And then when they go to the lower altitudes, like when they get to the higher altitudes, their body can't generate the extra hemoglobins right away, the HBs right away. It slowly will adapt and start to produce more of them. The extra ones that are formed when training in the high altitudes won't disappear right away. So it gives the athletes a bit of an advantage when they train in higher altitudes and then race in lower altitudes because their bodies have those extra hemoglobins and those extra oxyhemoglobins, so the muscles can get more oxygen while competing. This diagram here. This diagram shows how an increase in oxygen causes an increase in oxyhemoglobins. High concentrations of a reactant means equilibrium will shift to the right. But at low oxygen concentration, low amount of hemoglobins will be formed. The equilibrium will shift to the left because there's limited oxygen. So a decrease in reactant, hence this curve. So, the information given to you today was gathered from rsc.org and altitude.org. You may visit either website for more information.